Hey guys, it's Jess again, and today we're going to talk about a bit of a different topic. I'd like to go over my history in Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I've been playing this game for a pretty long time. I think my first regional at least was December 2015. I think that was because it was the BLS mat. We had the new BLS support, and I was playing the newly released Pendulum Magicians with like Oath Dragon, Wisdom Eye, and Magic Spectres with, I believe, Pegasus still. So, pretty long time ago. And I thought it'd be really cool to kind of talk through a bit of my history in Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't have any pictures from when I was younger, especially since like the main locals I used to go to did shut down. However, I've got a couple just like sporting images, and I thought it'd be cool to go over. So it's future editor Jess here, just kind of briefly interrupting. Just to say, one, thank you to channel members for supporting me. Thank you to you guys here. And also, I'm hoping to be more regular with content. I had a bit of a bad month in terms of just upload schedule, but hopefully it's been improving, and enjoy the video. So, we start off. Obviously, I started playing when I was 12, 13, I think. I think I was 12, because I was 13 during my first nationals, which was I say spring, summer 2016. This was a very long time ago. So when I started off, I believe, it would be just after Christmas because my dad found locals. Or my dad was looking for something for me to do. I think my brother as well, me and my brother to do. And found some of my old cards, just from like card boot sales. And got me a Noble Knight, like Noble Knight Platinum Structure deck. Or the box set that had like a playmat and all that. Those plymats used to be everywhere. But those playmats, and we got shipped off to our first locals, which was, I think I actually went 2-2, because I built my deck purely based on, I didn't play like Madraw, I didn't play any of the good Noble Knight cards, I just played the ones that I thought had high attack stats. I don't know how I went 2-2. But I remember essentially playing round one and then people helping me out and like realizing, oh, this is a new player, let's help like reformat the deck a bit, because my deck building wasn't the best. It was not quite up to the standard that it's up to now. And so helped reformat. I still know some of these people to this day. Help me reformat the deck a little bit, make it at least playable. Then everything kind of went from there. I ended up going to locals, I believe, every 2 weeks, until eventually I think I went to my first regional, which was a 40 to 50 man regional in like a small upstairs of I think it was a Warhammer shop. It was in a little small upstairs room in, I believe it was Llandudno. I'm not 100% sure, but it was in Wales. And I think I got 6th or 7th of that regional, because then that was after Noble Knight. I moved on to Necros, or the Necros that I had at the time. Then eventually, after that format kind of happened, because I went to a couple of LDS events. Like I think I went to a couple just around the country. Never did too well. Then moved on to Magic Spectre Pendulum Magicians. That ended up going pretty nicely because I got my first like little regional top. It's a 40-man regional, but it was nice to have that achievement, and that kind of gave me a taste. Once I got a taste of being able to like top regionals and that kind of thing, I just kind of wanted more. So I started like essentially begging my dad to help me go to events, and help me go to like events and regionals. And that eventually led up to, I went to just a couple of regionals around. I never did too well. And I just kind of continued just to play. I ended up focusing on Pendulum. So we had Pepe format. I ended up playing Pepe format. And then I ended up focusing on, I guess, Draco Pal variants. And just like Ignista, Turbo, Draco Pal, bit of Kirin, Magic Spectre variants. For a good part of a year. So because when I was 13, I entered, because I was the year above Dragon Duel, or I think I was born a month too early to be able to enter Dragon Duel that year. So I ended up playing the main event, and I think I got like 90th, which, although it's not a top for a kid's first like big event, I thought that was great. I got a playmat. I was really happy. So that was my like very early playing, and then I think I took a little gas up a bit, found new locals. Locals had 3 to 4 tournaments a week. It was amazing for my like development as a player. And I just started grinding locals. I did, like, well, not grinding locals I could on weekends. The grind locals on weekends because it was quite close. Then I think national. Then eventually Zoo came out, and I managed to get my hands on Zoo cards, and that slower gameplay at the time really suited me. It really suited my improvements as a player. I played Zoo. I don't think even this early. I still don't have any pictures from this. This was 2017. Like this was summer 2017, and that's when I got my first nationals top. Because I believe I was like 28th or 28th, 29th after Swiss at UK Nationals, which was a good probably 600-700 people. And that was a huge achievement for me. I then immediately lost to world's competitor JY in top 32. But it's really nice just to it was really nice like to be able to like speak to him and like think back on that memory. Because that was my first like big result. Then we kind of move forward. After that, don't think I even got many regional results of that. I got a couple of little tops here and there, but it was never loads. I never got any like consistent streak of results even then. And then that gears up to more towards when I'm 15. When I was 15 and 16. So when I was 15, I think I took a bit of and 16. I took a bit of a break, just because I had exams. I was doing like that kind of school age, that kind of exam. We all know them. Then, but after that, so after the exam period, there was a few months where over summer I just played Yu-Gi-Oh. I'd sit on my bed. I'd have two playmats out on either side, and then I proxy a deck and I'd play my deck against another meta deck, and then work out all the choke points, and then work out how I'd combo, like how do I combo through this, how I combo through that. Is how I combo through everything. Because at the time I played Gouki for quite a long time, because I played a bit of Mermail after Zoo. After Zoo, I kind of just took a bit of a break. But then I started playing with some Neptibus combos, and some hand loops, and then eventually I moved on to Gouki. I think this was before Nationals, which would be in June, but I didn't attend that Nationals because I was busy with my exams. So I missed Nationals in 2018, and I've been playing all this Gouki. And then after my exams, I've just been testing with myself, working out all the interruptions, all the best places to interrupt, all the best places to play around interrupts, and all the little techs. And that eventually led to YCS London when I was 16. YCS London 2018 in October. And I went 11-0 in Swiss. That event is probably single-handedly what kick-started my, I guess, Yu-Gi-Oh! Competitive career. Because after that event, I don't really know what happened. Just after that event, everything kind of clicked. I had that taste of being first after Swiss, because I ended up losing top 8 to the winner of the YCS. But even so, I'd had that taste of really high-level gameplay, and my motivation just was at sky high. So for the next few months, throughout November, December, January, I think I topped. I either topped almost every. I think topped every region I went to, which was completely unheard of for me before then. Which is why I think even now, I'll say to people, when you get your first YCS top, use that momentum. Because the momentum from your first result, for me was huge, because it gave me the motivation just to keep going and then achieve all these other results. So that's when I was 16. I had that YCS on top. Then there was, so at the time I wasn't travelling internationally. So for me, there was only ever one YCS a year, which was YCS London, which was that YCS. And then UK Nationals, of course. So there's big gaps in time where so we have got some pictures from 2018, which I'll put here and timestamp, hopefully. And then we go to 2019 Nationals, which I did top. So the week before that, I believe I won a regionals in North England. The week before that Nationals with Orcus Pile, but this was an Orcus Pile using Mystic Mine and side deck. And at the time, this was like a completely new tech. So this tech was completely new at the time. This was before the inevitable everyone plays Mystic Mine inside. This was before it was cool. Play Mystic Mine, and gave that deck gave me so much confidence. I then did end up topping nationals, and I believe I played. So nationals was next week. I think it was around probably 700-800 people, and I believe I played against Jake Quincy in Top Cut in top 64, and then unfortunately lost that. I believe my game. I think my hand was Dolphin, and then 4 Garnet cards, or 4 cards I couldn't use. I got Lanciered, and I just lost. My hand was pretty atrocious. I think both games. And then moving on to YCS London, I unfortunately didn't top that. But I got my deck stolen day 2, I believe, which it happens, but I don't think it's on route to top anyway. I still have one very specific memory of that event though, which is simply just flipping an imperm in Desires column, and then just beating a Draco player because of that. Because one of the decks, like the deck I probably dislike the most of all time, is probably Draco. Anyway, I was playing Salamangreat for that one because that was the YCS when we had, I think, Striker Orcus started to become a thing just after that event. Then we moved more into, because that was October, like that was quite late 2019, and then we move into the COVID period. And because I had, like everyone, I had more time in COVID. So when we got into COVID period, I just played again. And I ended up doing pretty well in a bunch of, at the time, at least in the UK, I believe they happened in America too, obviously the rest of Europe, we had the Remote Duel Extravaganzas and the Remote Duel Invitational. So I did pretty well for myself in the Extravaganzas. I ended up, I'm not quite sure how many I topped and won, but I want to say I topped the majority that I entered. I also ended up winning a Goddess Giant card, Goddess in the World, the Link 5, which I thought was really cool at the time. Although I didn't quite have space to keep it while I wasn't at university. Then I think going into, that was also remote YCS. So during the time, I think I played Drytron for one little event, but majority of the time I was focused on Virtual World. I really like Virtual World. Funnily enough, I've never owned a Virtual World. I think I borrowed it for about a year straight. But I just love Virtual World because although it was a bit cloggy, I love just the interaction. Like I just love the interactions, the fact it's hand effects. It doesn't really care that much about, let's say, Veiler, Imperm. I just really enjoyed the deck. I think if that deck ever comes back, I'm probably going to hop on the train because I really enjoy it. If it's consistent. It needs to be consistent. Regardless, I ended up topping YCS. I think I then lost in top 32 to Raphael Nevin. And then the next event was the Remote Duel Invitational Qualifier. I think I got second at the Invitational Qualifier because I was first after Swiss, and then played against someone in final who was using my exact deck list, and then I just bricked game 3 on all Lanciers in a virtual mirror match. But then I ended up going to do I believe it was the Remote Duel Invitational, the big streamed one, where we had the black playmats, or was it black playmats? And unfortunately, I lost first round in top 16 because honestly, virtual mirrors could have just happened, and my hand wasn't the best. My hand was cloggy, my opponent's hand was cloggy, but unfortunately, they were able to combo before I was. So that was pretty much my virtual experience, just a bunch of kind of a few 100-man events, and then we move on out of lockdown. And out of lockdown is where things kind of started for me. So out of lockdown, we had, I don't think we had a YCS in the UK, but we did have, so we had UK Nationals. UK Nationals 2022, I believe, was our first Nationals back. I'm not sure, there may have been a couple of regionals before then, but UK Nationals was the big one. So UK Nationals 22, so this was when we first had Plant. This is when Plant started to come into the fray. Because I ended up, there was regionals, because I was messing around, so we started getting regionals back, and I started messing around with just these random, adventure combo decks. And I kind of just stumbled on I didn't really have a deck at that point, because I didn't really like Virtual anymore because of the clogginess. So I ended up stumbling on this Sunavalon engine, and I really enjoyed playing it because this Sunavalon engine just kind of summoned a vanilla, and then the vanilla made everything. And then we could play punks, and we could play needle fiber into necrosynchron, and then synchro into Baron, and then effect necrosynchron special summon Loci from deck. Then Baron pop the needle fiber. Then you can full plank combo underneath this Baron, and I thought that was such a cool concept. So I ended up working on that list. I think I topped a couple of regionals. I think I got maybe 2 or 3 regional second places with that deck, and I ended up building that deck with a guy named Alex on the Disciples. And so we worked on that deck for Nationals. I ended up doing awfully. I think I played against, I think it was maybe 4 Fluendaries in a row, and I couldn't deal with Shifter. Under Shifter, I went right, summon Wandering Griffin by to pass, and I couldn't, that isn't good enough into Flu bluntly. He, however, ended up doing really well and got second. And that was kind of like the plant, that was the plant starting, that was the beginning of Plant Gang. And then, obviously, then going into that Euros, we read the Rikka cards, because Concon got released. Then, after Concon got released, we kind of formed a little bit of a focus group, trying to prepare that for Euros, and then the rest is kind of history with marketing Euros. I then got my first Euros top. That was also the first Euros that was the first international event I've attended. So that was my first time going out of the country for Yu-Gi-Oh!, which was Antwerp Euros 2022. And then everything else is kind of history. So we go to a bunch of regions. I then start doing pretty well at regionals. We get to, I don't think I do very well at, so we have like, what's this, Utrecht? Utrecht was, a couple things happened at Utrecht, I did pretty terribly. I think I played Runic for that. I played a Runic variant. I was like a Runic Sprite variant, and I think I made a couple of like little deck building errors that cost me. Like, for example, I was mainly Stim mode. I think I should have been mainly Lava Golem. And I don't think my technical play was that good when I was like at the time, because I didn't really have the time to test with university. Then going into the next big YCS for me, the next milestone YCS, was YCS London, which is the YCS that I ended up getting 2 feature matches on, and it started, that's when I made Twitter. Although my account says before then, that's when I made Twitter. Or that's when I installed it properly. And YCS London was just such a milestone event for Rikka, because in the past, I felt that I'd not been playing Rikka much. Because I played Rikka, obviously, the 2022 European Championships, but since then I hadn't, aside from a couple of regionals, I'd not played it at a major event. And then after putting so much time into the new Rikka build, at that time that's then pay off, and then everyone who's using the same build as me, then all topping, like that just felt like a huge achievement. Like, okay, I'm back, we're gonna keep going. Then UK Nationals happened, got top 4 at that, although I will still argue third. Got top 4 at that, and then we get to the next event, Euros, and now we're kind of Euros, Worlds, and we're here. So I just thought this, although I'm being quite brief with all these points, I think it's pretty fun, just the amount of, like, how quickly everything's kind of scaled for me, because I was getting results and I was like attending UK events. I was playing so much Yu-Gi-Oh! When I was younger, and when I was like younger, trying to grind the game and just improve. And I think it's really nice how it's kind of scaled up, and everything's just happening now. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you kind of like this more talking style of content, let me know below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.